So we've talked about being able to see a lot of the content if you're not logged into the website. And we've talked about being able to do a search and finding things quickly. We talked about the calendar. We talked about what it takes to log in order to manage your account, manage your preferences and your profile. One of the things I didn't mention, I failed to mention, was how to create a new connection with a new NDEDIC member or an existing NDEDIC member. I'm going to go to connections and just show you again. Here's the 6 people I'm connected with. I want to find somebody new. I'm going to look for Tom. I'm going to search for him. I can use that search right up there, just like we did for when we were looking for other stuff. And I find Tom. He's found. I see his profile out there, and I can click on connect. And if I do that, I can put in a short message. Hey Tom, this is Steve. I'd like to connect with you on the NDEDIC website and send the request. He'll get an email message, or he'll get a message in his NDEDIC message center, that messages section I showed you, that said, Steve Kennedy would like to connect with you on NDEDIC, approve or deny. And if he approves it, great. We get that connection. If he denies it, Steve Kennedy, I'm not going to be able to see that he denied it. It's just simply going to act as if he ignored the request. Something very common with other social sites. If you deny a request, it just simply doesn't let the sender or the requester know that. And I can send a message directly to Tom from here too. And what the connection does is it gives you more of a closer view to Tom's stuff, to the person you're trying to connect with. Tom, here you can see I see very little information about Tom. I can see he updated something 12 hours ago, but I don't see a lot of stuff here. Now, if he had a lot of stuff here, I could see that from being able to connect with him. There's certain things that you can see as with a connection that you can't see just as a normal member. I can see some stuff on his wall, I think, as just being a generic member, but not, if he's posting pictures, if he's connecting with other individuals, if he's posting news articles or blog articles, I would have definitely a deeper connection with him on the NDEDIC website if I have that one-on-one connection with him, versus just being a generic NDEDIC user who doesn't have that. And I don't have that now, so it's why I'm not seeing a lot of Tom's stuff. So I think what that concludes really this whole section about profile, about connections, about the different networks and groups you can be in. What I do want to show you now is the stuff that we didn't get to cover. What is the content that we couldn't see when we were not logged in? For instance, we knew earlier on we couldn't go and do nominate for a volunteer of the year because we weren't logged in. We didn't have an NDEDIC membership. We were just a generic user. Now we are logged in. Now I can suddenly get to that content. I'm not denied. I'm not being prompted for a username and password. And I can see one of the benefits of my membership in NDEDIC is to be able to do things like this. To get to that restricted content, I can put somebody for volunteer of the year. Feel free to put my name in here. That's great. Just joking. We knew that some of the publications, the Council Byte, we couldn't see some of the older issues. If I go to publications, Council Byte issues, this page was blocked. It was asking me for username and password. And now all of a sudden I can get to the fourth quarter 2011's NDEDIC Council Byte. And it's PDF format, so very cool. So if I go back and some of the other stuff, groups, right? I couldn't get to anything under here. But now that I'm logged in, it knows I'm part of the UIF payers group. So if I look at that, all of a sudden, look at that, I got access to that group. And what that means is I can be part of writing about this work group, connecting with the people in that work group. If I look at group directory, I can see the people who are associated, who are also part of that NDEDIC committee. And if I want to connect with them, I can do that from here too. I can Tim Olson there, add him a connection, say, hey Tim, this is Steve, send a request. Same type of deal. We'll get that one-on-one connection through the NDEDIC website. Let's see some of these other groups. DGPA, they do a good job of updating their, have customized their landing page for their group. They have some discussion activity going on. They have something. So let's take a look over here. Group directory. We know what that is. We can see who's part of this DGPA group. You can also go to calendar, and they might not have a calendar here. You can have a calendar, a private calendar for just your committee, and that's what would go there. You can add in new items. A lot of committees aren't using this yet. It's still pretty new. If I go back to DGPA, I know one of the things that they have set up that other committees haven't is their forums. And for some reason, I'm not getting back there. Here we go. Forums right here. If I go to forums, they've set up a forum for each of these different transactions that they can talk specifically about how they relate to the DGPA forum, the DGPA group. And right now there's no topics, and again, fairly new thing to start to use, but it's out there, and I really encourage you to start to, if you're part of a group or if you want to be part of a group, to get involved in, and these forums are a great idea to do that. Each group has has their own blog as well. Let me take a look at. I'm not sure if anybody's really actively using it right now, but at least from the groups I'm in, I know we're not under blogs. And if we look for UIF payers blog, there's no activity there. But the same type of deal, you can, like your private blog, you can create a blog specifically about UIF work groups, the payers work group or the providers work group. Stakeholders have the same type of thing. If you're a clearinghouse, you might be interested in joining the clearinghouse stakeholders. Now look here, I am not part of the clearinghouse stakeholders group. It's a private group. They've chosen to close it off to people who have explicit permission to get into it. And if I want, I can try to request to join that group by clicking on Join Group there. But I'm not a clearinghouse. I'm represent more of a payer, so I might be interested in seeing the stakeholders payers section. And I've already gotten into it. So, in fact, I'm a member. So this might be a very good place to start a forum about things that are very specific to payers. If I want to connect with other payers and say, hey, are other payers having trouble with 50/10 or 60/20 or blah, 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 this is a great place to make that connection. Photo gallery is just a specific to this stakeholder payers group. So if the stakeholder payers all get together and have some event, they can upload photos for that specific committee, that specific group, right under that photo gallery section. So I'm trying to think, that really covers a lot of being able to see some of that content that we couldn't get to as a non-logged in user. We saw that there's certain groups we can get into, certain committees we can get into if we have access to them. We learned that some committees are private groups, so we have to request access to. We learned that we couldn't get to some of the publications without being logged in to the Council Bytes. Obviously, personally, I think the biggest benefit are these groups, because if I'm really trying to figure out what the rest of the industry is doing, let's just use 50/10 as an example. I might be out under stakeholders and payers and saying, hey, what are other payers doing about this segment and this element? And I might start a forum or a blog or something to start talking about those things. It's a great place to get connected, and it's a great place to have specific, focused connectivity with a set of payers or a set of providers or vendors. So that really completes the presentation over this website. We talked about, I'm going to click on this logo so we can go back to the home page. We've talked about what you can see as a non-member. We talked about what you can see as a member. And I think at this point, if you have a lot of questions, one, we can talk about them now. Two, if you can feel free to email me. Or just connect with me, right? Out on the NDEDIC website, Steve Kennedy. Search for me up top here in this community search, and feel free to connect with me. I'll be glad to answer any questions I can. I'm sure you'll come across stuff that I didn't talk about, just in the interest of time. But again, I want to encourage you to just get out there and try the things. So it's new to everybody. You're not going to mess it up. You're not going to break it. So I hope you've learned a lot from the presentation, and I wish you well. Please connect with me out on the NDEDIC website, and I look forward to it. Thank you.